Imagine America in the late 1800s. For millions living beyond the bustling cities, life was often isolated and access to goods was incredibly limited. Small general stores, typically the only option for miles, held a near monopoly on local commerce. Prices were often steep, selection meager, and quality inconsistent. Farmers, homesteaders, and small-town families yearned for the variety and affordability enjoyed by their urban counterparts. This vast, underserved market was ripe for a revolution that would arrive not on rails or wires, but through the humble postal service, delivered right to your doorstep. In these remote communities, buying power was fragmented. Farmers selling their produce in a local market would then purchase supplies from the same local merchant, often at inflated prices due to lack of competition. Choices were dictated by what the store owner decided to stock, rather than what consumers truly desired or could afford. The inefficiency of this localized trade system meant less wealth circulated, fewer goods reached the hands of those who needed them, and progress often stagnated. This economic bottleneck severely restricted the quality of life for a significant portion of the American populace. Enter Richard Warren Sears, a man whose acute business instincts would fundamentally reshape this landscape. Sears began his career as a railroad station agent in North Redwood, Minnesota in 1886. His work placed him at the heart of the burgeoning transportation network, giving him unique insights into the flow of goods and information. When a local jeweler refused a shipment of watches, Sears, spotting an opportunity, bought them himself and sold them to other station agents along the line at a profit. This seemingly small transaction was a spark. That initial success with watches quickly escalated. Sears realized that if he could sell to fellow agents, he could sell to anyone, anywhere, if he could reach them. He began by printing small circulars and mailing them to potential customers, offering quality goods at prices far below what local stores could manage. This was the genesis of mail-order retail. He wasn't just selling products, he was selling convenience, affordability, and access to a wider world of goods previously out of reach. It was a simple idea, but profoundly disruptive. Sears' vision extended beyond watches. He saw a nationwide market, geographically dispersed but unified by the reliable network of the United States Postal Service. He understood that trust, quality, and fair pricing were paramount when selling unseen goods. His early promises of satisfaction guaranteed or your money back built crucial confidence with customers unfamiliar with remote purchasing. This foundation of consumer trust would become the cornerstone of his burgeoning enterprise, allowing him to dream bigger than any local merchant ever could.
As his business grew, Sears realized he needed a partner with different skills. He was a marketing genius and a visionary, but the technical demands of sourcing, repairing, and ensuring the quality of the products, especially watches, required precision. In 1887, he hired Alvah Roebuck, a skilled watch repairman, to handle the technical aspects of his expanding watch business. Roebuck brought a meticulous attention to detail and operational expertise that complemented Sears' grand ambitions. The partnership formally solidified in 1893 with the creation of Sears, Roebuck and Company. This was a pivotal moment. Sears remained the driving force behind sales and marketing, while Roebuck ensured product quality and the operational back-end ran smoothly. Their combined talents formed a formidable duo, ready to tackle the complexities of a rapidly growing mail-order empire. They were more than just business partners. They were complementary forces, laying the groundwork for a new era of retail. With their partnership established, Sears Roebuck rapidly diversified its product offerings. From watches, they expanded into jewelry, then general merchandise, then household goods, farm equipment, clothing, and even entire houses. The sheer breadth of their inventory was astounding. They tapped into the unmet needs of rural America, providing everything from everyday necessities to aspirational luxuries, all available through the mail. This expansion transformed them from a niche watch seller into a true general store for the nation. The instrument of this unprecedented expansion was the Sears Roebuck catalog itself. First published in 1888, by the turn of the century, it was a massive, elaborately illustrated volume, sometimes over 1,000 pages thick. It became known as the Wish Book or Big Book, an encyclopedic guide to consumer goods that reached millions of homes. For many rural families, it was the only source of reliable information about products and prices, a window into the consumer world. The wish book was more than just a list of items. It was an object of wonder and aspiration. Families would pore over its pages, dreaming of possibilities, planning purchases, and simply enjoying the visual feast. It brought fashion, technology, and convenience directly into homes that had never had access to such variety. This catalog transformed desire into demand, turning isolated farmhouses into bustling centers of commerce and connecting them to a broader national marketplace of goods and ideas.
However, achieving this massive scale came with immense logistical challenges. Imagine coordinating thousands of different products from countless suppliers, managing inventory, processing millions of orders, and then shipping them accurately and efficiently across a continent with varying infrastructure. Sears pioneered sophisticated systems for warehousing, order fulfillment, and nationwide delivery. They built enormous distribution centers, essentially industrial cities in themselves, to handle the sheer volume of goods flowing through their system. These distribution centers were engineering marvels of their time. They employed thousands of workers, utilized cutting-edge conveyor systems, and developed complex indexing and sorting methods long before the age of computers. Orders would arrive by mail, be processed, picked from vast stockrooms, packaged, and then dispatched via train or postal service. It was a finely tuned machine, optimized for speed and accuracy, essential for building customer trust and maintaining their revolutionary business model. Sears Roebuck effectively democratized commerce. By offering consistent prices and a transparent catalog, it stripped away the arbitrary markups and limited choices imposed by local monopolies. A farmer in Kansas could buy the same quality plow at the same price as someone in Georgia, regardless of their local merchant's whims. This newfound economic freedom empowered rural consumers, giving them a voice and a choice that had previously been unimaginable, fundamentally altering the power dynamic between buyers and sellers. The impact on traditional general stores was profound and often devastating. Many struggled to compete with Sears' vast selection, lower prices, and efficient delivery. Some adapted, specializing or offering personalized services, but others simply couldn't withstand the pressure. The landscape of Main Street began to change as small-town merchants either evolved or faded. This was market disruption on a grand scale, driven by efficiency and the power of aggregated demand. Sears didn't just sell products, it helped forge a national market. Before Sears, consumer tastes and availability were highly localized. The catalog, however, introduced standardized products and fashions across the country, creating shared references and desires. It fostered a sense of national unity in consumption, where a dress or a tool advertised in the catalog could be found and purchased by anyone, regardless of where they lived. This was a crucial step in the economic integration of America. Trust was paramount in this mail-order model. Customers were sending money, often their hard-earned cash, for goods they had only seen in illustrations. Sears maintained a strict policy of satisfaction guaranteed or your money back, a radical concept for its time. This commitment to customer service and quality assurance built an unparalleled reputation for reliability, further cementing its place as the preferred retailer for millions who felt confident in their remote purchases. The catalog also played a significant role in shaping American consumer culture. It educated generations on what was available, what was fashionable, and what improved their lives. It wasn't just a transactional document, it was a cultural touchstone, discussed in homes, schools, and social gatherings. It broadened horizons and fueled aspirations, democratizing access to the material comforts and innovations of the booming industrial age. By the 1920s, Sears Roebuck and Company had become the largest retailer in the world, a true testament to its revolutionary business model. Its annual sales dwarfed those of its competitors, and its influence stretched into every corner of American life. The company had mastered the art of direct-to-consumer sales, leveraging the postal service and a meticulously organized supply chain to create an economic powerhouse that redefined how goods were bought and sold. However, even the most successful business models eventually faced new challenges. The 1920s brought the widespread adoption of the automobile and significant improvements in America's road infrastructure. For the first time, rural families could easily drive to larger towns and cities. The convenience of mail order began to wane as physical department stores, offering immediate gratification and the ability to see and touch products, became more accessible. This shift in consumer behavior posed an existential threat to Sears' mail order dominance. People no longer needed to wait weeks for a catalog order. They could hop in their car and visit a modern department store. The novelty of the wish book began to fade against the immediacy of brick-and-mortar shopping. Sears faced a crucial decision: cling to its founding model or adapt to a rapidly changing retail landscape where its core advantage was eroding.
Under the leadership of Robert E. Wood, Sears decided to pivot. Recognizing the irreversible trend, Wood initiated a bold strategy to open physical retail stores. The first Sears retail store opened in 1925 in Chicago, marking a monumental shift for the company. It was a risky move, venturing into a highly competitive segment where they had little direct experience, but it was essential for survival in the new consumer era. The expansion into physical stores was rapid and aggressive. Sears strategically located its new stores in suburban areas, anticipating the future growth of car-centric shopping. They built large, standalone stores with ample parking, pioneering the concept of the suburban department store. This transformation was remarkably successful, allowing Sears to maintain its retail dominance for decades, proving its incredible capacity for adaptation. Sears Roebuck successfully reinvented itself, becoming an iconic American department store chain for much of the 20th century. From its humble beginnings selling watches by mail, it had grown into a retail colossus, first through the catalog, then through a vast network of physical stores. For generations, Sears was where America shopped, a symbol of consumer abundance and convenience, deeply woven into the fabric of American life. However, the story of Sears also serves as a cautionary tale. Later in the 20th century and into the 21st, the company struggled to adapt to new competitive pressures from discount retailers, big box stores, and the rise of e-commerce. It lost its agility and its understanding of the evolving consumer. Despite its revolutionary past and periods of immense success, Sears eventually filed for bankruptcy, a stark reminder that innovation is a continuous process, not a one-time achievement. The legacy of Sears Roebuck and Company remains profound. It proved that a national market could be forged by innovative logistics and marketing. It empowered rural consumers and set new standards for convenience and choice. But its eventual decline underscores a timeless truth in financial and economic history. Even the most disruptive and dominant enterprises must ceaselessly innovate and adapt to the relentless tides of change, or risk becoming another forgotten chapter in the annals of commerce. The wish book that built America ultimately couldn't wish away its own challenges.